Back in April of 2008, I started working for Suburban Green and White Cab in their dispatch room. Um, After their normal revolving door of supervisors took place, um, I wound up in the position of dispatch room manager. At the same time, my wife Lori um, was also working in that office, and her and I kind of worked as a team, I guess, in that room. Um, she was handling more things along the line of the personnel. I was handling kind of the nuts and bolts of the operation. Um, as it turned out, the owner of the company, who for some reason has something against stability, um, he decided that he didn't want to pay two people to do the same job. I guess in essence, I think there was other underlying situations there, but he decided to put me out on the street. Didn't have a whole lot of problem with that. I figured, heck, it was getting into the winter season. I'd probably do okay and make a fair amount of money out on the street. So I agreed to do it, and with some help through the year, or through the winter and early spring months, um, I did okay. I had some assigned school runs and was doing okay. But I had noticed that even when the other cab companies in town were moving around, our cabs seemed to be sitting around without a whole lot of call business, and I had brought this problem to the attention of the general manager of the company and also the owner. But everything that I had said had fallen on deaf ears. Now, suddenly the school year is over with, and there's a bunch of cab drivers who, quite frankly, are sitting around with their thumb up their ass and not making a dime. And I was one of them. Over the last 3 weeks, I was coming out of pocket to pay for my lease and gas. Not by a whole lot, but still, I wasn't making a dime. And meanwhile, while things had slowed down because of the season and also to some degree the economy, but I noticed that other cab companies were still spending a lot less time sitting on cab stands and were running around with people in the backseat, which, after all, is the whole idea of this business. I had again offered solutions, offered help to the company. Um, they seemed really not too interested in doing anything to promote the business. So I had to make a decision. I decided that maybe the time was right for me to switch companies. Well, unfortunately, um, also I had to keep in mind the fact that, my wife was still working in her capacity in the office, plus my daughter and stepson had also taken up positions working in the call center. So I figured that knowing this particular owner, I figured that this wouldn't last. They wouldn't be able to continue working there. What I didn't count on was the bullshit move that transpired. Um, I was spotted applying for to the new company. I went in and got the little paperwork to fill out, inquiring about making the move. Um, so there was a phone call made, and next thing you know, I'm being called into the office, and I've discovered that the owner of the company has fired the entire lot. Now, this was just for making an inquiry about moving to the other company. What an unbelievable amount of garbage. Now, Lori is a great worker, and she will bounce. Yeah, she's already got a couple of leads for jobs, and it's only going to be a matter of time before she catches on and gets back on her feet. I'm a little more concerned about my stepson and my daughter, um, who are young and might not find it as easy to get a job someplace else. Um, I this is going to sound like a ton of sour grapes, but I got to tell you something about this company. And I should have known this from uh, back the last time when I'd come back from Vegas, when I'd come back to work for them, back for a little bit of time then. Um, the owner of this company is quite frankly more concerned about just collecting lease payments than he is having any kind of uh, he just seems to have lost interest in the cab business itself. He has no interest in promoting the business. Um, Customer complaints, especially complaints as far as drivers, accidents and whatnot, claims on accidents just seem to get brushed underneath the carpet. He refuses to talk to anybody and just decides to let the whole thing drag out. And if you're a driver and he owes you any kind of money like escrow or anything like that, forget about it. He'll find a way. You won't get any of that back. So if you're a cab driver and watching this, and in the metro area, and you're entertaining the thought of driving a cab for Suburban, I give you one word: don't. You'll wind up getting ripped off in the long run. I can tell you numerous stories of how drivers, even potential drivers, have gone in there and gotten themselves ripped off. They want a $200 deposit from you before you even hit the streets to do any form of training. And if for some reason you have a change of heart, and maybe you find a real job in the interim, you don't get that $200 back. So just a word of advice, and as far as the cab riding public, they've obviously already known to stay away from green and white cab. I see no reason for you to go back because there is no interest. He has no interest whatsoever in making that a decent place to drive a cab. It's just sit back and collect that lease money. I guess that's all I have on that. Yes, this sounds like sour grapes, and trust me, the best is yet to come. Until the next time, this is John Shannon, the Redneck Cabbie. Fuck you, Gary. Bye.